You've been playing the money game completely backwards. The people quietly building real wealth, they don't look like it. No flashy car, no designer logo on their chest, nothing to post about. And that's exactly the point. Here's the uncomfortable truth most financial content will never say out loud. Appearing successful is one of the most expensive habits you can have, not because of what it costs you in money, but because of what it costs you in options. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how the psychology of looking poor is secretly the most sophisticated financial strategy you've never been taught. And by the end, I promise you'll never see that luxury purchase the same way again. I've watched people earn six figures and feel completely broke. I've also seen others earn half that and feel totally free. The difference was never the income. It was always the gap. Let me ask you something nobody asks. When you buy something expensive, what are you actually buying? Because here's what the research says. Most of the time, you're not buying the thing. You're buying a story you want other people to believe about you. Psychologists call this conspicuous consumption, spending money not for what a product does, but for what owning it signals. And here's where it gets dangerous. Once you define your identity through your possessions, you're not building wealth anymore. You're maintaining a character, and characters are expensive to keep alive. Every time you upgrade your lifestyle to match an image, you create what I call identity debt. You now owe that identity. You owe the maintenance, the upkeep, the next upgrade. You've basically taken out a loan against your own future decisions. The car payment, the premium apartment, the watch that needs to fit the room you're walking into. It all seems like success from the outside, but from the inside, you've just reduced your ability to say no. This is where things flip completely. Forget everything you've heard about income. The real number that determines your financial life isn't how much you earn. It's the gap between what you earn and what you spend. A person earning $150,000 and spending $148,000 has almost no freedom. A person earning $60,000 and spending $38,000, they have options. They have runway. They can walk away. They can take risks. Think of that gap as your financial oxygen. Every dollar you don't spend performing wealth is a dollar quietly building it. And here's the brutal psychology most people miss. Our spending doesn't rise without income. Our standards do. You get the raise, you upgrade your life. 6 months later, you feel exactly the same. Your brain adapts fast. So the luxury you sacrifice for today, you would have adapted past it in a few months anyway. The gap compounds. The car depreciates. Most people think restraint is punishment. It's not. Restraint is leverage. Here's something the wealthiest people understand that almost nobody else does. Real power doesn't need to announce itself. The most financially dangerous person in any room is usually the one you'd never notice, not because they're hiding, because they have nothing to prove. When you stop spending to impress people, you become harder to manipulate. Salespeople lose their leverage. Social pressure fades. You stop making decisions based on how they look and start making them based on how they work. Stealth wealth isn't just a financial strategy, it's an identity upgrade, because when you're not performing success, you get to actually build it. The people who look like they have it all together, they're often the most financially stressed. The image consumes the resources that could have created the reality. You stop leaking energy upward when you stop spending it outward. When you build your life around looking successful, you attract people who are drawn to the performance, not to you. And that affects everything: your relationships, your opportunities, your future. The people who show up for the image will leave when the image fades, every time. But when you show up as someone building quietly, with discipline and intention, you attract a completely different kind of person. And here's what most people miss. Your reputation for discipline is an asset. People trust you more. They bring you better opportunities. They take you seriously. Meanwhile, the person trying to look wealthy is stuck in a loop, constantly having to prove it. The most valuable signal you can send isn't what you own, it's that you understand the difference between price and value. Now, think about the last major purchase you made to impress someone, even yourself. How long did that feeling actually last? Not the ownership, the feeling. For most people, it's days, sometimes hours, but the financial consequences, they last years. That's the trade, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Financial restraint compounds in ways that go beyond money. When you live below your means, you build trust in your own judgment. You stop outsourcing your self-worth. You make better decisions across every area of your life. People who are financially calm invest better. They negotiate better. They walk away when they need to. Restraint doesn't just build money, it builds the version of you who knows how to use it. Looking wealthy and being wealthy are not on the same path. They're moving in opposite directions for most people. The one driving the car they can barely afford is performing a life. The one quietly investing the difference is building one. You don't need to look like you've made it. You need to make it. And the fastest way to do that, stop spending money convincing the world you already have. If this shifted something for you, I made a video on the exact mindset shifts that separate people who stay broke from people who build real financial security. It's right here. Go watch it. And if you're not subscribed yet, do that now. I post every day on exactly this kind of thing. Real psychology, real strategy, no fluff.